is nothing. Success is all about your changes. The changes of your present situation, changes of your each and everything. So, दोस्तों मौका है लेकिन
I'm here.
Yeah, okay. So I will leave it over to you, Peter, and a big applause to you. I will not do it here, so it will be.
thank you.
Yeah.
Welcome very much, sir. In this call, we are very glad, and we are very excited to listen from you. And thank you very much. And all the people are waiting to hear you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Anshuman. It's a pleasure to helping out, and I learned that many years ago that whatever you want to keep, you got to give away. So that's the first nugget you get from me today. And if you're on these webinars, all of you members, I'm going to talk slowly because I understand that we are many different countries and maybe English is not, the first language, of course, is not. But so I'm going to do it slow and accurate. But if you are attending webinars like this, I would suggest that you have a pen and paper. I know we live in a technical, technology world, but still pen and paper is one of the best ways to get information, especially when there's like nuggets, like a sentence here and there that you hear and you're, wow, I got to write that down. And you take a note because those notes are so valuable. I have books back home with notebooks that I myself took notes when I started this industry and many, many, many years after that, because it's a principle. And when you've been on my webinars in Sunday school, you know that I teach in principles, not in facts, because facts always change. A principle is always the same. And that's also why it's so wonderful to get hold of these truths, because then it really doesn't matter what happened around us. We can adjust, we can be winners whatever happens. And that's what I love with life, actually, because this is the journey. We're here on planet Earth, and we got a body. We can't change that. And with that, we're gonna, in my opinion, we're here to learn. We're here to evolve and learn stuff. Anyway, so welcome onto this webinar. And I didn't get any theme from Lotta or Anshuman, but I will just do some basics here, and we'll see what we get. Take that pen and paper that I told you to have and write this down. That you can have more than you got, because you can become more than you are. Wow, those beautiful words, actually from a note that I took many years ago from Jim Rohn. And you can have more than you got, because you can become more than you are. Wow. And most people don't realize that they have more resources than they actually think. They are stronger than they think. There's so much inside of us. We just have to open up that little door with that golden key. Click, and when we open that up, everything can happen. And what is that golden key? Well, it's the dreams that you carry. The dreams and the goals that you have are the driving force behind everything. If you find your why, you got to have that on top of your list. Why are you getting up in the bed, getting out of the bed in the morning? Why are you going out in the world to go through hurdles and problems and take chances and build a business, because you have those dreams and those goals. And when you come into an industry like this, and many of you have probably done something before, so you're probably educated and in this direct sales industry. But for those of you who have not, who are new, I will tell you that there are no limits except those you put on yourself. Wow, write that down. There are no limits except those you put on yourself. That does actually mean that it's there's no roof of education and money that will flow into your life when you do the right things. But money is always a byproduct of who you are. That's why Jim Rohn said that you can have more if you become more. And that's why it's so important to be on trainings. And I know it's really hard to see when we live in a world like this, when everything's going fast and, we're living in our phones and computers and bam, 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 and we earn some money. We can see money in our accounts, and that's all good. But, if you want to keep that money, and if you want to have more of that money, and I'm not a money guy, because I like what money can buy. I'm not necessarily like money, because money is a exchange system that we have. We exchange stuff. I have a bunch of money, and then I go to someone who has something else, and we exchange our services. But anyway, if you want to fulfill your dreams, you need some sort of money, currency, or financial, gold, silver, or bitcoins, whatever it is that you can change. Because the thing with freedom is that when you have more freedom. So that's how it is. And if you are new on these webinars, write number one down, and you probably already have, because our system is simple. I will go through it really quick so you can get what I'm talking about. Number one is always find your why. Number two is always to write down your dreams and goals. Number three is always the products. Number four is who you're going to bring into the business. The people, that what we call name list. Number five is to contact those people. And, today it's easy because we live in this world where we can just send a text or an email, or we invite someone with the link to a webinar and stuff like that. And then number six is education and support. Okay? If you didn't get it, you probably have this recorded so you can listen to it later. But number one, why? Two, goals and dreams. You turn dreams into goals. Number three, the products. Number four, the name list, who you're going to bring into the business. Number five, you got to contact those people, make sure they get, the information about the business. Number six, education and support. And education and support is what we're doing now. We're doing some golden nuggets, words that have a meaning and that mean something. It's not just empty words. And like Jim Rohn said, don't mistake movement for achievement. You can be moving, but you don't achieve something. You got to achieve something. That's why you need to have a plan of action. Because some people, they just move around and they do stuff, but they don't achieve something. So it's got to become a result of what you're doing. And that's why I'm so keen on pen and paper, because it's another good one. Write this down. Think on paper. When you write stuff down, your brain is picking it up. It's not the same if you write in your phone or in your computer. You're going to write with a pen and paper. When you write it down, your brain picks it up. So I'm still, to this day, 30 years ago, I learned to set goals and make action plans through my mentorship with my first mentor. And that was way before I went into direct sales. And he was mentoring me. And, the first thing he said, Peter, is that, you got to understand two things. You are the product of everything you have. And I said, what? What do you mean? He said, you're chaos, or someone is making noises there in background. You are chaos in two legs, and we need to change that. So, okay, I said, I'm willing to change. What do you want me to do? And he said, number one, he said, get this sentence down. To think is to create. And if you really, really understand it, we are all creators. We create every day because we think every day. The matter of fact is, what are you thinking? And that's why we need stuff like this, webinars like this, where someone talk, let's call it truth. Someone talk about principles, and we get that, and we take notes and say, wow, I learned so much from that. So that's the most important thing. Think on paper, to do goals and planning. And actually tomorrow at Sunday school, I'm going to do some really good time management stuff. So just be there, because it's going to be awesome. So think on paper, do all your goal setting, do all your planning, do all your master plan in your business on paper, not in your head, not in your phone, not anywhere else. Piece of paper and a pen, because you will bring up other people that are going to be successful. So you got to have a system which works. And, it's easy to sign up in the business. Like Crowd One, you buy a package, and then some people think when they bought a package that money's just going to pour in, but that's not how it works, because nothing comes for free. And you can't get something for nothing, but there's no such thing. There's another golden nugget. And so we are actually in a business. So if you treat this like a business, it will pay out like a business. There's another golden nugget. If you treat this like a business, it will pay out like a business. If you treat it like a hobby or a fantasy or a wish, children, they are wishing for something and hoping. That's all good. That's all good. That's a good start. But when you really understand that wishful thinking will take you nowhere, you got to put it down, and you got to make a plan, and you got to take action. So you still got to take action. And when you have our system, which is real easy, when you come to the number 4, which is the people you're going to bring in the business, and point number 5, to make contact with them, that's where you're going to be. That's where you're going to spend 80% of your time in this business. That's our system. The first look, webinar, education and support, and event. And those 4 blocks, we compress our system, is so easy to understand. The first look, for people who we're going to bring in to the business, we show them something in a video, or you tell them something in a text message. It could be like, hey, I got some here, wonderful news. I'm going to make you a millionaire. Or you more modest, you say like, hey, I came across something fantastic. There could be a text like that, and we interest people, to create interest. We don't have to tell the whole business idea at once, because that's how human beings work. They want to get it slowly, step by step. Everyone does. Some people, they get it immediately and say, hey, I'm in, But we don't have to exaggerate the business and tell them it's some kind of lottery where you buy a position and then money's going to pour in. Be honest and tell them, hey, this is a business. I treat it like a business, and I want you to be part of it. Or do you want to take a look? Then, you tell them it's going to be hard work. We're going to do some hard work here, but listen, it will pay off. It will be worth it in the end. And then you will get more serious people in your business, because like attracts like. And that's the next point. I will, give some time. That's leadership, because this is about leadership. This is about, Anshuman is a leader. He brought this webinar for you guys, so you can get Lotta online, because the relationship is through Anshuman to Lotta. Why? Because he proved himself. Lotta wouldn't be sitting there wasting her time with someone who doesn't do anything. And that's how you got to think. And then Lotta has the relationship with me. So I'm here because Lotta have a relationship with Anshuman, and you are here because Anshuman have a relationship with you guys. Maybe not everyone, but at least he's the webinar guy who put this webinar up. So why am I talking about leadership? Well, when you know why you get up in the morning, when you know why, when you have that dream that really get your energy up, you know, like, I'm going to go out and fight for it. And I can tell you, I found my why when my sponsor, 26 years ago, he told me, Peter, you got to go home and find why are you doing this? And I didn't get it because the answer is in the word, why? Question mark. So I went home and I said, what can be so strong that no one can win over me? What can be so strong that no one can win over me? And then my son was newly born, Charles. So I said, I make him my why. So when I go out and I get goosebumps now. You know, when I go out and do presentations, I bring him with me in my mind. And no one is going to win over me and him. At least not over him. So everything I did was for him. I built everything. I had my why. I knew I was out there fighting for him because he was my son. So a why is something strong that's really connected to you. So when you find it, you're actually starting leadership because you're leading yourself. It doesn't matter if you don't have a group yet. You're leading yourself. And then you start building your business and people, you know, jump on and you get some interest, you put them in the system, and then all of a sudden you have 5 people to lead. Then you have 50 people to lead. Then you have 500 people to lead. Then you have 5,000. So you clearly understand you got to have a system if you have 5,000 people, because this business is not about just out there and, you know, and rah, 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 you, hoo. It's about having a system that people can duplicate. Duplication means that they're going to copy whatever you do. So if you sit home and do nothing, they're probably going to copy you and sit home and do nothing. So, you know, I had many leadership sessions with people during the years. And one session I remember, I brought in a big mirror in the room with a piece of blanket on top of it. And then I had each leader come in by himself. And I said, you want to see the problems, why you doesn't have result in your business? And I said, yeah, I want to see it. And I pulled the curtain and he was standing in front of the mirror. It was kind of, you know, goofy, but it was also really interesting to see some of the guys saw themselves because they were the problem. You cannot, you know, have any excuses except go to yourself. And, you know, that's a hard truth to swallow for someone who just started, but that's the truth. We are the creators of our future. And when you get that, and when you finally get it inside of you, wow, there's no stop. There's no limits. Like I started in this call, the only limit is the one you put on yourself. Remember that. And